Hello, and welcome to Don't Cry for Me, Quarantina.
The truth is I am an actress and a director, sometimes do makeup. I am assured to be in retail forever.
Would you like fries with that?
Oh, that's bleak. Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Hey, guys. Happy 4 millionth day of quarantine. Good morning, quarantine. No? Hi, guys. How you doing?
I hope this finds you safe and well and in a secure location.
Yeah, dear. God knows I'm doing good, sipping on my Di Serono. It's a good time.
Good time. I'm currently sipping on a Diet 7-Up outside my local theater and reminiscing a bit.
Diet 7-Up.
Yeah, I was going to get a full-fat 6-Up, but they were out.
Rad.
So, how are you? How are you coping, Jimmy?
I'm doing well. I cleaned my room this week again. I did laundry that was already clean. It was my birthday on Wednesday. I turned 29 on the 29th.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Shout out to my brother who got a really cool birthday shout out to me from Jim Cummings, the voice of Pooh Bear, Tigger, Darkwing Duck, lots of other people.
Very exciting. He's a lovely man.
Yes. And I'm coming to you from my respective outside because I just wanted to do a podcast outside. So I hope everyone enjoys the sounds of the birds and potentially a couple of dogs barking. Who knows?
It is a lovely day here.
Yes,
I hope everybody's getting some vitamin D.
Gorgeous in Oregon. I'm in Oregon.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I'm waving.
But
Can you see me?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I'm excited about our topic today, theater.
Yes.
I've just been gearing up for this lovely day. Nice little release between me and my best friend who I miss so dearly. Yeah. Oh God, I'm ready for this together. I'm ready for a charcuterie board and like a gorgeous fella who like just treats us well at a really great Italian bistro downtown. You know where I'm talking about. Oof.
With a trough of white wine.
Yes, and we'll just drink it with a
our
silly
hands.
straw. I want one of those silly straws, those like silly straws with the glasses.
It goes over your head.
Yeah.
It's like scuba, but for booze.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah. So how are you, my dear?
I'm all right. I'm good. Got back to my day job of being a essential worker. I was issued my very own N95 face mask, so I'm very excited to look like a character out of Stargate.
Lastly, I love Stargate. Stargate Atlantis or Stargate SG-1?
Doesn't matter. I'm sure there's somebody out there who will look like me.
I love.
My family as well, my close relative, you may even call her my mom.
Mammy.
Got her test results back, and she is negative, for which I am extraordinarily grateful.
Yeah.
I've just been counting my blessings since she sent me the text, being like, thank you.
One of the best negative results out there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm happy to hear that, my dear. I'm happy to
Optimism and pushing through and giving support when possible. That is the task. That is the plan.
Yeah. Instantly pushed it to the 31st.
Yep. That's the thing.
I thought it was the 15th, and then I got on Facebook, and everybody was expressing their thoughts and feelings. For those of you who are having a hard time with the fact that it will be pushed to further than you expected, just hang in there and be happy that you get about 5 more weeks of me and Deannie on podcasting. Yeah, something to look forward to. So we love you guys, and I'm sorry about that struggle. But let's move into what we're talking about today. Hey, Danny.
Today we're discussing probably the subject we know the most about in a more real sense.
I'm getting goosebumps, legitimately. I'm actually just got goosebumps. I'm embarrassed.
Theater.
I love theater. Saved my life every day. Whenever I'm lost, I just know where I can find my happiness in a Sondheim, beautiful, anything. You throw it out there, dear.
Yes, yeah. Theater is our refuge and our passion, and so we have the most to talk about this subject, barring, of course, our existential debates about existentialism. But that's an episode for another day. Today we're talking about theater, and we're very excited because we have so many things to communicate on this subject that we don't know if we can even fit it into just one podcast. So be prepared.
It's hitting us a little hard. So we just wanted to talk about something really positive and fun that we love. And there's no time limit on this, kid, so this could go for hours. So buckle up,
Good thing I have a soda.
Good thing I have Di Serono. So here it is, kids. Theater.
So before we start deep diving and bunny trailing off on various theater subjects, we're going to start with our intro stories and how we got into theater. So Jimmy, tell the friends and family how you got into this amazing world of theater and acting and performance.
It was a cold January night. At my age, not to be mentioned, far too young to care and far too young to feel and too young to know anything about the world. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. You're so dramatic.
I know. Born for it. So I guess I'll start with how much I love theater is I tattooed my body. I got a theater tattoo because who I am. And the tattoo says, I live halfway between reality and theater at all times. And I was born this way, quoted by the Stephanie Geminosa, also known as Lady Gaga. I heard her say that when I was 17 years old. And it rang true to everything that it was that moment where I understood myself. Like, I knew I was different, and it wasn't because I was gay, and it wasn't because I was a drag queen, and it wasn't because, maybe because I was a drag queen, but it wasn't because, it wasn't because of my DNA, you know what I mean? It was because of my spirit and who I was as a person. I could be the straightest arrow in the world. Yeah, right.
Okay.
and still have this love that I have for theater, and so basically it started when I was a young boy. First Disney, Disney musicals, and just me being like, oh, to be Belle. And then it kind of moved on to where I grew up in Massachusetts. They kind of encouraged us to do like pageants and stuff like that for certain holidays and, rite of passages and stuff like that. And I loved it. I felt that, but it didn't really kind of hit me until I was in like the third grade. And I went and saw, every actor has their, moment. And I'm really embarrassed that this is the show. Are you ready? It's not the first musical. Maybe it is the first musical I saw in person. I don't remember. I really don't. But this is a musical that was like, you're a different person forever. And it was School of Rock, the musical, brought to you by Mount Wachusett Community College in Gardner, Massachusetts. And it was my first, I was in the third grade. My third grade teacher's name was Mrs. Casey. And I was, that gay kid from School of Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Times 20. It was just out of control. But I also had the deepest voice. It just was this gay still. So I still had this lisp. You know what I mean? But I still kind of had like a, I didn't in the 6th grade, but in the 4th grade, I totally did. And so I saw this School of Rock musical, and I was just like, I was pretty much silent the entire time. I didn't say anything. I was a boisterous kid, but when I was really into something, I just kept my mouth shut. So when I'm into something and I'm quiet, or when it's real. So I watched this musical and I saw these people. I saw a couple of people I knew in it. And it was so cool. They did all of the songs and the dancing. And and it was a really, really cool musical. If I want to do it someday as an homage to my childhood. Not maybe perform in it, but mostly direct it. But anyway, so I saw School of Rock, and then the next thing I know, I'm in the 4th grade. Eons later, 3rd grade to 4th grade. Feels like a lot. Anyway, and there was audition for Oliver Twist. And I auditioned for Bill Sykes, who was the bad guy, the first villain and only villain I played until I was 27 years old. And I loved it, and I fell in love, and the feeling that I got from being on stage is past palpable. It's indescribable of what I feel when I get to step into that space and let it all go. I just saw the opportunity to not be myself. What's kind of fucked up about it is when I was in the 4th grade, I actually wasn't super fond of my life. So I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me that for X amount of time a day that I can literally, with my mind and body, soul, and spirit, step outside of my shoes physically, emotionally, and mentally into somebody else's and be that person, portray that person, execute it in a believable way to create an emotional response from somebody else. And it be the power of me, but it also be the power of art and music and theater. And so I rolled with it. Stuffed that little marble and I ran. And I did everything I possibly could find as a young boy until now, as a 29-year-old loser. No. This is what the love for theater gets you, kids. Podcast talking to 20 of your local peers who would just do this anyway if they could around a fire. But anyway, so that's my love. That's where it started for me. That's where my budding came from as a young boy. And even when I was a kid, my mom would put on these MTV Party to Go, what's hot, now on the top hits of MTV, CDs in the mail. And we'd just dance around, and she'd be like, you could be a Michael Jackson someday, you know what I mean? Because, that's what 9-year-old kids see when they look at their children, and then they grow up and they see something completely different. But, the fantasy's real. And I took that shit for serious, and, I love it. It's fun.
Well,
I used to pretend to be a news anchor, and just any opportunity to make somebody feel good about being somebody else. I took it. So.
Well, you've certainly created that trajectory from what I've seen of you.
Well, thank you.
No problem.
29 years of it.
Holla. So, that's wonderful. I love your origin story. Feels like somebody should be sketching out comic book panels while we talk.
In the future sometime, I'm sure, but it won't be comic book. Might be a stenographer, but who knows? No.
Well, my origin story is a little similar with several differences. But all of our stories are, share a common core, so I think that makes sense. My intro to theater had a pretty long prologue because I had been performing since I was in diapers, technically, when I would get up on stage with my dad's bluegrass band and assist him when he would go around to the elementary schools and give fire prevention speeches. And I would, hold the stuffed bear, and I would hold his pointer stick when he was teaching his classes. So I've always kind of been in front of people, but my induction into the world of theater, the first taste started in kindergarten when the school librarian picked me and 3 other geeky teachers' pets to perform the 3 Little Bears for a school-wide program, kind of like What Happened for You. And I played Mama Bear, and this little tiny guy named Scott, he was just cute as a button. He played Baby Bear. And then this somewhat taller beefy boy named Scott played Papa Bear. And Goldilocks was played by our 6'4" male kindergarten teacher who was as big as a house. And the juxtaposition was just so hilarious. I mean, the teachers loved it. The kids were just in stitches. It was great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was amazing. But since I was 6, a lot of similar experiences weren't exactly available to me. So I didn't get to visit that feeling again until I was 15. And a friend of mine had told me about some auditions at our local community theater that she was going to go to, and she wanted me to come with her. Now, she had been in a couple of productions at this community theater, and I thought that was just astronomical. She was already a produced, agented, paid actress in my mind because she'd already been in shows at the community theater. And so I was just so intimidated and in awe and had zero confidence that I could do anything like it.
Sure.
So I went to these auditions with her, and she already had the cast divvied up in her mind as actors are not supposed to do, but often do.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
She had decided that I would take the sort of secondary female character, and she would take this lead character because she'd had so much more experience. And I was totally like, yeah, for sure, it'll be great. And at the same time, I'm thinking, they're not going to cast me at all. They're going to get their entire cast out of people who know what they're doing. And so I worked up my nerve, and I got up on stage and did a cold read, which for our theater noobs out there is a audition wherein you haven't really seen the script beforehand. You don't have anything memorized. You're holding the script and you're reading the text straight from the script that's going to be the production you're auditioning for.
Basically, either the best or worst moment of your life. Exactly.
And I get up there and I read it, and it was scary, and I was pretty into the fear, and I wasn't relaxing and letting whatever meager ability I have take the lead. And the director saw something, and he said, "Don't play the music. I'm not done."
Sorry, I thought it's a soundboard. It's a soundboard. Can you put Smokey Bear's assistant on your resume, by the way? Is that something?
I'm sure it is in my deep, dark
God, no, honestly, the story is wonderful. I'm sorry. You're beautiful. Please. I'm honestly like biting my nails, like an edge of my seat. Like, anyway, I've never heard the story.
Not in full. No, I don't think so. So I read the scene, and I was still a little bit scared. So the director saw some glimmer of potential in what I had done, and he gave me a note, and he said, I want you to read this more cutesy, more happy, little less frightened. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can do cutesy and not all the lights are on in the attic. I can do that. And so
not the sharpest Christian in the Bible.
Right, yeah, and it was great. They loved it. They laughed. I made the director laugh, and it was amazing. And the rest of my life
you are a natural. I mean, you are so good. If any of you see her casted in anything in your life, I fucking implore you. I mean, it is absolute magic. I am not kidding. Best actress I've ever seen in my life in person.
Stop it, you.
I'm not kidding. Why do you think I took you so close? No, you're James Judy Dench in the making, baby girl.
Oh, knock on wood.
If there is a biopic about Dame Judi Dench in the future, it's yours. It's yours, honey. Honey, it's yours. Honey.
I'm going to have my agent write out a contract.
You kill me. I mean, you're so good. You're so good. You work so hard. That's why I really like your work. You are such a natural, and everyone knows it. But you work past that. You work past that because you don't want people to just be like, well, she's a natural. You know what I mean? I know that bothers the shit out of you. I know it does because I'm your best friend. But also because I know you, and we've worked together in so many things. And so, like, I just know how you work. And you've never said that out loud, so you don't even have to now if you don't want to. But what I'm saying is I have seen it with my own eyes, and I can speak on my own experience. You don't have to speak on any of it. Is you work past your natural talent. You give it that extra mile. You know, one of our mentors told us once that there's no such thing as natural talent, and I'm always going to disagree with that because I know you. I mean, it's hard to find that within yourself because it's hard to really humble yourself as an actor, and I know you know that because. Fuck that. If we humbled ourselves as actors, we'd be Justin Timberlake. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't be, no offense, Justin, I mean, but still, like, you get what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like,
he's listening right now.
Yes. You don't know. How we could explode.
Okay.
Like the prices of the Spider-Man tickets. Anyway, so that insurance mess. But I digress. All I'm saying is what I'm saying.
Right. Well,
you know, is that you always really go the extra mile for your work, and it really shows. And that's why I love you so much. Is because, you know, aside from our natural chemistry, your work ethic when it comes to the thing that I love the most, your work ethic when it comes to the thing that I love the most is, I mean, I might be doting, but I mean, you really are truly good at your craft, and I really hope I'm not coming across as biased because you really, really move. I know I'm not coming across as biased because I've been in an audience where you have acted and I have seen what you have done to 200 plus people at once. So everyone's gonna fuck themselves no matter what they say. I know what it's like. But I love you and you're wonderful. And I think you're fantastic. So anybody who can see this bitch in a show, go see the show. Better actress than anyone you fucking know. That was
a very long promo for my work.
Shut up. You're good. You are good. You are good. You're good. You're good.
Well, the rest of the story, which I've forgotten myself. I don't remember my origin story now.
This is your origin story.
When last we left,
the gate. Moving on. Cut. Print. Check the gate. Moving on. No, I love you. To quote
anyway, that's where I started. Many years ago, twice as long as I had been alive at the time, and now I am an acting coach with a talent agency out of Seattle and a director, and
I've seen her at work. Oh my God.
And working on some stand-up comedy someday. Yes. So I haven't tried that. I've tried interpretive dance. It was very Sarah Lawrence. But just try everything. That's one of the other things I enjoy about theater.
Sarah Lawrence?
It was, very much. Mirrors on the ceiling, raw meat being thrown at the audience, somebody screaming for 2.3 minutes.
Fosse 101.
Mm. Yes. Precisely.
That was so fucky. I wish you saw it.
And I wish everyone had seen it. I wish you all could see what we see.
It's good.
Right now.
Marsha Graham.
So Jimmy, we have a few things we can talk about here.
What's your favorite show? I want to know what your favorite show. Your musical, play, anything.
That I've done, or just in the spectrum of theater?
The whole spectrum of theater. If you could be in, direct, costume, makeup, anything. The whole enchilada. What?
Gosh, and everything. I don't know if we have time for listings of all the things I want to do.
Choose one. It doesn't have to be definite. Just choose one.
Well, this is going to sound extraordinarily cliche. Like, I'm kind of making myself sick that this is my answer. But every actress ever has wanted to play Lady Macbeth. And I realize how cliche that sounds, and I apologize for that. But it's actually a role I would really like to try. The juxtaposition of Elizabethan English and iambic pentameter, and being able to burrow down into the very raw dependencies and emotions that this character has is very daunting, because some of the best actresses all through history have played that role, and it made their name. And I want to take a bite out of it and wash the blood off my hands. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's
yeah.
deep.
You didn't expect that, did you? You expected Velma Kelly or...
No, I didn't actually. I did not expect something like that.
It's
not that I didn't expect that. I just didn't.
Christine Daae.
I should beat Christine Daae. You wish. Anyway. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't have the range for that.
No. You have great acting range, but
not so much.
Tenor, maybe. No, I'm kidding. I'm so sorry. I love you. You know I do. I live for you. So the whole thing, you'd direct it, you'd act in it, you'd do the whole damn thing with Macbeth.
It's kind of frowned upon.
That's your role. I mean, let's do roles first, I guess. That's okay.
Okay.
We can do that.
Okay. Yeah. Roll. Yeah. Roll. That's my role.
And then we can just do full concept show. So your role is Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird that I want you to kind of guess what I would choose?
I will guess wrong, and then you'll get mad, and you'll get all dramatic and high pitched.
No, I won't.
You just did.
Oh my God, that was downtoned, not uptoned. It was downtoned.
Gay crescendo.
That was my nickname in high
So
school.
much for my music theory classes.
No, okay. Fine. If you don't want to guess, I have two, and they're in the same show.
Oh boy.
Because I've already played my dream role. Really.
I've played a number of my dream roles.
I mean, the thing is I played many dream roles, but I didn't even know what my dream roles. I've had 3 dream roles that I've
and a few of those too, yeah.
Truly play. 3 of them. 2 of them were wanted. 1 of them I wasn't even aware of. Which is a beautiful experience for those of you who are actors and understand that. For those of you who don't, I wish it on you, because it really is a wonderful experience. But it is in the show Into the Woods.
Oh, and I thought Lady Macbeth was cliche. Into the Woods, huh?
I know. Yes, it is indeed Into the Woods. I would love to be in the show Into the Woods. 2 roles. At one point, I mean, really any role. It's a Sondheim. Come on, I sound snooty. A bit. Yes, I understand that. And I'm really not snooty though. You know, I hate that shit. I just really like that work. I really like that piece. I really, really like that piece. And I would love to play the witch.
Shocking.
Green. Nothing but beans. Cabbages. Anyway, and then I'd also really, really actually like to push myself. And I don't even know if this would be too much of a far-fetched casting, but I'd really like to be the baker.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think that you should be, if I could cast us in anything, I would love us to be the baker and the baker's wife. Come on. We'd kill kill it. You know we'd kill it.
Oh, that would be funny.
It's right in your vocal range. It's right in your vocal range and right in my vocal range. So, like, we would literally slay.
No.
It is. Alto 2. And you croon, baby. And you can do it! Anyway, so I would love to. I would love to do that. Dream co-part you. But anyway, no, but really, I would love to be more. I think somewhat because I already pushed myself in that drag aspect to be Miss Hannigan. I really, really would like to be the baker more than I would like to be the witch.
Wow.
Yeah. But second best.
Right.
Do you think I could do it?
I'm sure you could.
Yeah. I mean, I could do it.
For those of you out there, this is how many actors' conversations go. Do you think I could do it? I'm sure you could do it. I don't know if I could do it. I want to do it.
When we're waiting for an audition, we're like, I hate myself. Why do I do this to myself? Dry heaving 30, 40 times in between. A couple of shots of tequila and a stale Lucky cigarette that we found somewhere in our glove box. Like, it's...
Kicking your best friend in the shin because she's between you and the phone.
Missing your mom's 50th birthday because you have an audition. We'll talk about this later. Sacrifices is a whole entire subject that we can talk about later.
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. I was homeless. Anyway, so yeah, I absolutely could see you as Macbeth. I really could. Out of the two, which or Baker, what do you think I would do better?
Well, you tend to lean into the wind when it comes to musical comedies, so I think you would perform that really well. I think anything you devote your time and effort to, you would perform splendidly. I would need to see your audition.
Diplomatic answer. You're like, how do I tell him neither?
No. That's not it. I'm a director, and I need to be diplomatic while retaining my safe space for decision making.
Okay, Greta.
This is why I make a good director, and I would make a terrible agent.
I make a great agent and a great director. Distracted, but a great director.
Okay.
I used to not think I would be good at it, but I think I would be good at it.
I think you'd be good at it.
You never said that.
I'm sure you'd be good at it.
Thank you.
You'd have to practice at it.
She corrects
Again,
herself.
Everyone.
She corrects herself. Shit, too much of that ego being boosted. Bring it back, Danny. I'm sure
Rope
you'd be
down.
good at it. I'm sure you'd be good at it.
I'm sure with time and study and discipline and organization, you could do anything you want. That sounds like me.
Yeah, I was that was weird.
Pretty on the nose.
Yeah. Telling me that I could actually do something for one. No, I'm just being funny. You're a wonderful friend. You are. So this is the rules. Okay. What else do we have on the...
So those are unexpected dream roles. Let's talk a little bit about roles that we have already played. Some anecdotal evidence that we know somewhat of what we're talking about. Why don't we start with the most vulnerable? We played some pretty vulnerable roles to us as people in our lives. What's your top most vulnerable?
You first.
Me first? Okay.
You first.
Okay. All right, fine. So when I'm asked what role is the most vulnerable for me. I pretty much always answer Chris Harper in Calendar Girls. I recently played that role in our local theater, and it's a wonderful, wonderful show. If you haven't seen the movie with Helen Mirren, put it in your queue. It's a wonderful, wonderful.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's being funny, you guys. So it's this great, great story about two best friends in Yorkshire, England, and when Chris's best friend's husband dies of cancer, she gets her WI Women's Institute chapter to start raising money for a new couch for the cancer wing in his memory. And the play goes through their adventure from start to finish, and it's based off of a true story that actually happened several years ago. And when we got to do this show, I auditioned, as I typically do, thinking, I'm not very good. Maybe I'll, and in getting cast as this lead character, my directors had a couple of extra tasks to ask of me, which was to record a version of a Scottish morning song, and recorded that with my dad, one who I sang backup with when I was in diapers for his bluegrass group. He played the guitar, and then the dialect coach for the show also sang with us, and we recorded that, and that played. And that was pretty vulnerable because I hadn't performed musically in a long time, and having your voice recorded and played every night for an audience is daunting. The second thing that they asked of me after that is they asked me to sing a song a cappella as sort of a closing moment.
Oh,
so
God.
For this show,
what?
yeah, it was.
That's
it was
rough.
very.
That
it was.
That's rough. That's like walking into an audition and not knowing who you're auditioning for.
Right.
More
it
so,
was
like,
very scary.
Maybe you walk into an audition and like have a couple ideas of who you want to audition for. Anyway, but having somebody be like, well, can you sing this a cappella?
Yeah, a cappella by yourself. We'll record it. It'll be great. And I did it because I wanted to so very badly, which my enthusiasm for the task probably way, way overmeasured my ability to do it. And so, we make the gap, make it work. But in this show, my character had the most stage time and the most ability to help if there were any technical moments that went wrong. And this is a risk that you take when you do live theater. Something will probably go wrong at some point, and it's up to the actors on stage to make sure that we make it part of the show and not an interruption.
I've never been a part of a project where I've said anything wrong or, rushed a thought or technically made a mistake. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I know that. We'll get into those stories later. Anyway, the point of this story is that it was a show where I had one of the biggest line loads, a lot of responsibility for making sure my co-actresses felt safe and supported, and singing for an audience, and it really pushed a lot of insecurities that I didn't know I had, and being able to perform this show successfully and get over those insecurities made me feel like if I really wanted to, I could do anything. And that is probably one of the...
You can do anything, Danny. You can.
I have a couple of roles with those come to Jesus moments like that, but that's the first one I thought of
Mary
when I thought of most vulnerable. No. Another one was
oh my God, Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, drag name, I call it.
Okay. But when I played Fraulein Cost, I had to sing the sort of anthem-like act ending solo, and that was very daunting because, like I said, I hadn't really been performing vocally as much at the time. I also had to appear on stage in a negligee. Of course, in Calendar Girls, I had to appear on stage topless, but the audience never saw anything. We worked it very carefully.
I hate myself for missing that.
I kind of do too a little bit, but it's fine.
The truth comes out.
I don't resent you. It's fine. So anyway, those are my most vulnerable roles, where I was spiritually vulnerable and physically vulnerable. And I made it through, and now I have a little bit more faith in myself when it comes to doing scary things for the first time.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Well, I'm very proud of you for pushing your boundaries. You know? What
Yeah.
kind of life can we live if we're not pushing our own boundaries?
A boring one?
Yes. Yes. God knows I'm not living a boring life.
What was your most vulnerable role? I think I know the answer.
Do you?
I thought I did, but now I don't know.
Do you? My most vulnerable role? What do I think? What do you think?
What do I think? Well, I had a sort of a tie in my head between your principal character and Miss Hannigan.
Ding, 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 ding. It's Miss Hannigan.
What do I win, Charlie?
You win the prize of being my best friend.
Oh,
congratulations. It's a tough job, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. It's true.
When I outlive my usefulness, he'll shake me and find another hag. It's fine.
As in the words of Jack, every fag hag has their expiration date.
Oh,
no,
God.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Oh my God. Fuck a life partner. You're down for life. You're my life partner.
Oh, goody. So what about Miss Hannigan was especially vulnerable for you? Was it part of the performance aspect or just the approaching the script with your style? What would you say?
Well, it was a lot of things. Well, because it was my first time stepping into an actual acting role as a female, it wasn't getting in front of a group of people and lip syncing to my favorite Lady Gaga song. Which I've never performed Lady Gaga on stage, by the way. I don't know why I said that, but
it's an average Tuesday night for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, alone or in front of a bunch of people, whether it be my dog tipping me in judgmental looks or a stranger giving me $20 to regurgitate cake in their mouth.
Oh my gosh! Ew.
Drag is drag. It gets weird. So for me, it's like, you know, I really was vulnerable because it was actually really, I had to portray true, honest womanhood. It wasn't like I was a drag queen. It wasn't like I was a trans woman. It wasn't like I was portraying anything like that. I was portraying a real woman. All of those roles are hard, even if you are those things in a fictitious space. If I were a trans woman, that would be hard for me. A real woman, that would be hard for me. I even have a hard time when I'm a drag queen. Trying to really, but the thing about me being a drag is I'm trying to be real. But when I'm on stage performing a real woman, I'm trying to be real. So I guess this is what was so vulnerable for me, was like really trying to find those places of feminine vulnerability, which I think is hard for any male to do. It's such a hard barrier for any man to even step inside of femininity, gay, straight, or indifferent. So to, in a small town community, be the person who is putting myself on the pinnacle of that, without really realizing the full baggage of it, it was a really interesting place to be vulnerable. I mean, the woman who I had to portray was a drunk Irish woman from Boston who was an orphanage. Basically, she ran an orphanage. I don't know the right name for whatever her role was. Basically, a
Little
drunk asshole.
Well,
drunk,
yeah, that
drunk asshole. And I had to step inside of shoes that I hadn't stepped into for a very long time. When I was a kid, I, had some spaces that nobody needs to know about because those were pretty hard places for me. But this role was very hard for me to step in because of my childhood past. So having the opportunity to really divulge into some really sensitive areas that were so real for me, and putting them on stage in a fictitious space, when the whole reason why I started acting in the first place was to get away from what I was going through as a child, and then it coming to fruition, being in this role in indescribable ways that if I could put them in the words, no one would understand even if they tried. It was hard. It wasn't fun. I thought it was going to be fun. I thought it was going to be easy. I thought it was going to be to the pants. I'd been watching Kathy Bates and Carol Burnett and a lot of legends on Broadway play that role for decades, and I thought, oh, God, I can do this. That was my attitude going into the audition. I knew it was mine. And it's not because of anything. It's because I knew that my audition was going to be better than anyone who auditioned, because I had been working for this since I was a kid without even knowing I was working for it until I realized that this is what I wanted to do as an actor. I just didn't realize I was going to do it at 27. I thought I was going to do it at 47. So to have the opportunity to do that was a little sooner in my personal development than I thought I was going to get. And I got it, and it was better than I expected and harder than I expected. And it was also after a very hard and poignant moment in my life personally, outside of family and friends. I was in a relationship that ended very badly. So it was a lot of vulnerability. So it either happened at the best time or the worst time, but I killed it. So
yeah, you came out the other end a better person, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am. If I didn't have that opportunity to be Miss Hannigan, I would be a complete mess right now. And not just Miss Hannigan in that role, but the people who were around me when I was developing that character. So it was great. And I'm about to start crying. So let's move on to your most vulnerable role. What was your most... No, we already talked about yours. I'm sorry. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I'm also getting a little emotional. I'm embarrassed. I'm a little embarrassed. Yeah, so I guess I haven't really talked about it. Maybe that's why. But
well,
so yeah,
that's
why
important.
That was...
I think it's important that our listeners know that we confront some deep and personal things when we're performing our craft. And
literally the deepest moments imaginable, listeners, for those 4 of you who tuned in this morning. Yes, that was a pretty hard moment in my life. So, different kinds of vulnerabilities, but mostly literally all of my insecurities and vulnerabilities being portrayed into musical theater. So that's why we do what we do, kids. No.
Yep, this is why we do what we do.
Yeah.
In hoping, I think part of our hope is that the act of accessing some of our internal struggles and joys, we can assist our audience members in confronting those own moments in their own life without being invasive or pushy.
Yes, that's absolutely accurate. That's all I have to say about that. I really don't. Well, I mean, you really worded it beautifully.
Well, thank you. I was also an English major in college. I don't know if I mentioned.
I was a major stoner.
Yes, I remember.
And then I was like, what am I doing here?
Well, now that you're all emotional, I think it's a good time to move to our next our next
I
role
am emotional.
superlative.
I am emotional.
So our next role superlative is the most moving, the one where you were most moved, or the one that you felt moved your audience the most.
You want me to go first, even though that kind of cuts on the pattern?
Well, you are in the right state of mind to remember when you felt like that.
Well, what do you
think?
You first. Me? I don't know. Which was my most moving role? Well, I would have to say that my most moving role would probably have to be also in another musical. It was the 25th annual Putnam Counting Spelling Bee. And,
that was such a great show.
And I auditioned thinking that I was going to get a musical role because, I'm a singer, and my audition went well. It's not like I choked my singing audition or anything. But I really did nail all of it. But more so, it was just like they casted me because I think they wanted to challenge me. That's the fun part about community theater, is that you have people who know your strengths and your weaknesses, and so they throw you into these cool spaces that you don't necessarily get professionally. That I think is a really a true gem. When it comes to theater, because yes, there are benefits to being in a professional experience, which we have both experienced as professionals, but community theater is a whole different realm, and that's kind of that learning space where you didn't get to pay for NIATA, and so you have people who did go, who are done with their careers, living in the middle of wine country, telling you that you're an idiot, and I'm going to make you better. And I've always been grateful for that.
That sounds pretty accurate to the experience.
As we sit in front of that theater, that has happened to both of us in very, very personal and different ways. So yes, I had somebody who cast me in a very, very difficult role. The role consisted of me pretty much improvising my entire role except for maybe 26 lines. And this isn't long. For those of you who know this musical, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know this musical, it was vast. It was vast. It was a very big, bite off of the cake of theater, if you will. And I hated the idea of improv, and I was terrified of it because I'm a perfectionist. I loved comedy. That's easy for me to improv. And this is a comedic role, but at the same time, you really could have made it something serious instead of comedic or whatever. But it was moving for me because I came up with 144 different lines of my own. I didn't use every single one of them, but I came up with 144 different words, whether they be fictional or real, definitions and sentences for these words for audience members who sat on stage for the entire first act for me to give to. And not just audience members, but I also had the actors get up there and do a couple of improvisation spelling words as well. So it was hard for me, and I was very nervous, and it was also vulnerable, but it wasn't as vulnerable as Miss Hannigan, but it was at this point in my acting career the most vulnerable because I've casted as a comedian in my roles, which is fine. But I've also gotten some serious ones for sure, which is cool. But I don't think I would get those in the real world. But this was really pushing that comedy nickel, and it landed on tails. And and I was nervous because it was my personal work. It was me and the writers of this musical, and the directors of the current version of this musical sort of collaborating. I mean, they weren't there, the people who wrote it and the people who, produced it initially in New York. But what I'm saying is it felt like they were there. I didn't want to let these people down. I wanted to do this show proud. So I did as much research as I possibly could, came up with my own material because that was what you were really supposed to do with the role. And it was great because my mom used to be a vice principal, and she's like a sweet vice principal, a tough cookie. But the vice principal that I had to play hated their job. And my mom was actually a vice principal at the time. So it was kind of nice for me to be able to shadow her. And then, like, you know what I mean? It was a good time. I really, really pushed myself for that role. So, and then the laughter. I mean, why do I go on stage, Danny? No. And then the laughter that I got from strangers and people that I even knew, you know, for years. Sitting up there in my makeup, I mean, you saw the makeup.
I did, yes.
It was pretty convincing. And I looked like my grandfather. Like a
yes, you did.
Version. Like I did. I looked like my grandfather. And like a much haggard, less attractive version of my grandfather, because my grandfather was a handsome fellow. But I was like a fat version of my grandpa. Anyway, and there you have it.
There it is. Yep.
And there it is. I made people laugh more than I've ever made people laugh in one sitting. And
that's wonderful. Laughter is very important.
And it really made me feel like I was in the right place, you know? Like it moved me and it moved other people, and I could tell, you know, that what I was feeling when I was up on stage was exactly what other people were feeling when I was up there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really, I mean, not that it's never happened before, but that when it's in the entirety of everybody who saw me up there say the same thing, it felt good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That was a great role for you.
Thank you.
I agree.
I think. How about you?
I think my most moving role would have to be when I played Olive Allison in The Women of Lockerbie. I was a very new actress at the time. I still thought I knew more than I actually did. I had an enormous head and not enough to back it up back in those days.
Lucky fella.
Well, but this was an extraordinarily difficult role because not only did my character have to have a thick Edinburgh dialect, this was the role that started me on my path to becoming a dialect coach as well. When I first started the nuts and bolts for getting to this role.
Before I even had met you, your director was my theater teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he was like talking about like giving us your reference for dialect if we ever needed it. And I never met you.
Oh.
And then like
sweet.
4 weeks later, I met you at Marcy's. But still, I had never met you prior, and I knew who you were before you knew who I was. So.
Oh, that's sweet. Well,
sisters,
yes.
Sisters. Anyway, much ado about sisters. The role of Olive Allison, like I'm saying, is that it was a very heavy, emotionally taxing role where I had to convey a lot of difficult spaces of thought and emotion through a very thick dialect, and that is a really difficult task for actors, right?
Especially when they're stuffed shirts who have no idea what they're doing, but really want to do it correctly. So I
and you were
studied
in college, right?
Well,
and so you were surrounded by a couple of people who had never acted before.
Well, yeah, but there was also an actress who was probably better suited to the role, at least discipline and raw ability-wise.
No, he told the story in my class. You understand that, right?
No.
Yes, he really told the story of like. Anyway, I'll tell you another time. It's not the time, but like really, like he told the story to a bunch of his pupils about how he knew you were right for this role, and you just kept saying you were not right for this role, and how you legitimately didn't like who you eventually convinced yourself. But basically, he told the story. He told the story I didn't even meet you yet, and I didn't even know it was you. And so I didn't even know that this story. I mean, I knew you were in the story. I didn't even make the correlation until now, this very moment. But he did tell the story, I have 3 friends who can attest to this that I've been friends with for a very long time who can tell you that they definitely told the story.
I'm going to call in your references.
I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. I remember this. Continue.
Well, regardless, the task of portraying these deep, heavy emotions through this heavy dialect was really, really hard, and I wanted to do a really good job. So I spent a lot of time diving into method acting exercises and deeper dramaturgical study about the history of the play and of the characters and what really happened, and trying to build this mindset where the dialect would be unnoticeable because the emotion would be so real. Shop talk. So
yeah, no, I'm deep. I'm in it. I'm listening.
So that was the first role where I saw at least 4 people in the front row that were lit by the stage lights, crying because of something I was saying, where the dialect wasn't a distraction. The absurdity of having a running, working stream on stage wasn't distracting. The dialogue that I was putting out on the stage was having a emotional
what was your favorite line from the whole
reaction.
show?
My favorite line? Oh, gosh. I don't know if I can remember any of my dialogue.
That's fine. I mean, I have no dialogue. Like, in some of the shows that I've done, you know.
It was almost 10 years ago.
Oh, God.
I'm sure right. I have. I'm sure I have
right.
some. I'm sure I have some of Olive's dialogue knocking around in my brain somewhere.
Yeah. No, I'm just being on the spot. I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
the pressure to perform.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know the gist of one of her speeches, which was, you think we're doing this to be irritating to you, but we just want to help the families. And she's talking about how it was an act of closure to wash the clothes and send them to the families of the deceased.
It's such a good text. Before I asked for the script, because I was really, I mean, oh my God, I mean, the way that he explained it, I was like, 18 years old on the precipice of bad choices, and I mean, the way that he described his passion for the show and his passion for casting you as the lead was like really moving. So I asked for the script. I was like, can I borrow the script? And I still have it. He told me to keep it. He said, you'll direct the show one day. Keep the script. And so I kept the script and I read it and I was like, you bet your ass I'm going to direct this show someday. Like, it's really, really great. It's a really great piece of literature for those of you who haven't heard of it. And it's a true story as well.
Very historically significant.
Yeah. And it's holy shit. And I'm so, I mean, I even down to the point of asked for the recording. And and I watched it, and I didn't even know who you were. And I mean, it was the working stream on stage. I mean, that man, and has done wonders for that theater program. But anyway, you were amazing. And I didn't even know it was you, and I forgot it was you until this moment. Well, I'm not kidding. I'm really not. I'm having this moment.
I've had a number of roles where I've elicited heavy, lasting reactions from audience members.
I mean, you are so good. You're so good.
But that was my first one. And that was when I first realized that it was possible to tell a story in a way that people could feel it in their hearts and look deep into their minds and be like, this resonates.
Yeah.
And now I know something about myself I didn't know before. And that is the honest appeal of theater. And people will make fun of drama kids and theater queers like us, saying that we just want to be on stage because we like the attention. Well,
and that
some
they
of
can't
us,
trust
some of
us
us
because we're
do.
actors.
Well,
that's the one thing that I hate is that people say that they can't trust us because we're actors. If you knew how terrible we actually were at lying in the real world, you wouldn't actually believe it.
I have to say that a lot. that I'm an actress, not a liar.
It's truth that we're telling up there. It's not fake. And I guess that's your perception of it, but that is our truth. It's not our truth, but it's other people's truth. It's the people who wrote that play. It's the people who gave the inspiration in that play. It's the people who directed that play. It's the people who act in that play. You know, it's the people who do costume it and light it and make the sets. It's the whole enchilada. You know, and it's one of the most ancient forms of entertainment, if the most ancient form of entertainment.
Right. So, and when people poke at us drama kids for that, they'll say things like we're just up there for the attention or the lauding when we make people laugh. But the true honest motivator for actors, for a vast majority of us, some of us are up there just to, you know, get the laughs and attention.
Yeah, some people are up there for attention.
Myself,
I'm not going to say that they're not.
Well, no, and they're good at getting it, but no,
I get enough attention in the real world for being the fucking. I'm a 6'2", 289-pound fucking gay man. Like, I already get enough attention. Like, I'm doing it because I want to bring attention on other things other than superficial existences, such as a white gay male, such as myself. And like, I want the portrayal of these characters to really, really move people. This is art. It's not fucking fun. It's not fun. At the end of the day, yes, it's actually excruciating more than it is fun. Would you agree?
Well,
I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the feeling that outweighs the outweigh of the balance of joy and pain. The joy supersedes the entirety of it all. But how long do you truly experience that joy? You experience that joy when you get to that audience. And that's not even the hardest part of it. And everybody thinks that that's the hardest part of it. Everybody thinks that getting up there and performing is the hardest part about being an actor. No, that's not the hardest part about being an actor. The hard part about being an actor is trying to convince you that this is real, that we are who we're telling you we are. And we're not those people. But it's way more than just telling a story to make you feel better about getting through the day. It's literally trying to give you a different perspective on life. And maybe we take it too seriously, but we're supposed to.
Okay, so the...
You're like, oh, you're done.
Can I finish my thought now?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So the motivation from an honest actor is to portray the story. The story is the important thing. The character isn't as important as the story. The dressing isn't as important as the story. As long as the audience resonates with the narrative being told, then everything else is working towards that one goal.
Yeah.
So when you're in a cast, when you're in a tech crew, when you're in a production in total, you're all working towards the same goal, which is to tell the story. And that is what motivates me to do theater. In total.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, theater.
And now we can't go back. Now we're stuck here as theater queers for the rest of our days.
Forever and ever.
You know,
I love a good label, though. An unnecessary label, but I still like it nonetheless. That's a joke, by the way. I fucking hate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why we love theater. Tune in next week for why we fucking hate theater.
The list is almost as long.
It's almost as long, kids. We're just passionate about the do's and the don'ts of theater. So this is why we love theater.
You have to take the bad with the good. You have to take the ugly with the beautiful if you're going to love a thing for what it truly is.
Right. And to be honest, we could not put our love or our disdain for either of those things in an hour or longer podcast. It could go on for years.
It could. How long have we been here?
Gosh, who cares?
I think we're over our time limit, but it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's Friday. They'll wake up tomorrow and be like, "Wow, I'm 20 minutes in and I don't care." Anyway.
Well, we have a lot of things that we can talk about for next time.
Yeah, next week we will be covering the same subject, theater. It'll be a little bit more on the side of what kind of bothers us about theater and why we're passionate about that. And it's just our own perspectives. So if you have your own, we welcome them,
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Drop us a comment.
Yeah. Come on now. This is community. We're willing to change. Make America theater again.
Oh boy.
I'm not talking about Greek drama.
Well, give it a minute.
Oh God. Oh God. May 31st. Anyway. Well, there you have it.
Why don't we close tonight with something hopefully optimistic? We're looking at the big movie book of answers, and we're going to find out.
Let's pertain it to theater. What kind of theater questions should we ask it, or something? It's on you.
Let's see. How about whatever movie quote it drops open on? We need to pick a character that we want to play from that movie.
What if I don't know it?
You will.
Okay.
Come on. Oh, yeah, you'll know this one. This quote is from The Lion King, as said by Mufasa. See that everything exists together in a delicate balance. Except James Earl Jones.
You choose first, please.
Well, I've loved The Lion King since I was a wee lass, and obviously your go-to is going to be Nala because she's the princess and she's spunky and she's fun and she can totally beat him up. So the lead actress in me wants to say Nala, but the character actress in me kind of wants to play Shenzi, the hyena.
Oh, yeah. I love it. You nailed that. You nail it. I love that. I the thing is that I actually probably would cast you as Nala. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not because, that whole love of ingenuism. It's actually an interesting ingenue in the movie. That's why I like it so much. Hamlet.
She's tough. She's a tough gal.
Yeah, she's a tough gal, and she's encouraging her man to do the right thing. Instead of playing that sort of, help me, I'm a stunning young man, shit like that.
To be fair on myself, I haven't played an ingenue since I was 15, so I'm kind of leaning into that whole character actress thing. But there's some part of me that always going to want to be that lead girl,
Honey, there's no small parts.
Only small actors.
Small actors. I'm so tiny. Anyway, yeah, I think I would absolutely cast you as that. 100%.
Make mine a Cub sandwich. What you think?
Yes, absolutely.
I think I would have a lot of fun.
I'm tossed between two, personally.
Yeah?
Two actually. I think.
Is it super obvious? Should I just call you Nathan Lane?
Oh, I thought you were going to go with Pumbaa because I'm fat. No, I'm being funny. Yeah, of course I would play Timon. And then I watched the live action version of it, and I don't remember the name of that
Billy
actor.
Eichner?
Yeah, whatever. And I really was just like, are you kidding me? Like, that's what you did? Like, when did the director just go, oh, totally. Like, I hated the live action. I hated it. Anyway.
Unpopular opinion alert.
Oh my God, it was awful. Everyone knows it was awful. They didn't even dress in drag and do the hula. Anyway. I would want to play Timon because Billy Eichner disappointed me literally more than anyone in any role ever. Role ever. Oh, come on. You liked it?
Well, I thought it had its merit.
Stop it. I don't even care what you have to say. I'm kidding.
Shut up, you diplomatic whore. That's enough out of you.
I hate it. I don't even care. You're wrong. Anyway.
Thanks, I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it. But I think it would be fun, really fun to be Scar.
Oh, yes. Man, I should have picked Scar.
No, Narabi. Anyway, Narabi. Anyway.
Narabi is Mufasa's wife, and Zira in Lion King 2 is who I would play if we were talking about Lion King 2.
I don't fuck with Lion King 2. I'm sorry, I'm not that gay. But I fucked with Lion King 1 and 1.5. I never made it to 2.
I liked 2 when I was 14, just because that evil queen role is something that I really enjoy doing.
Sure, I honestly haven't even seen it.
It's intense. They make a sex joke.
It just shouldn't have happened. It just shouldn't have happened. There's no such thing as Hamlet 2. Oh my God, I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
But it's not on the basis of Hamlet. Oh my God, I'm
but it is an existing work.
I am buying Hamlet 2 later. Anyway. So, okay, can we cast each other in Lion King?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I would definitely cast you as Mufasa. No, I'm kidding.
Get out.
I'm kidding. I would cast you exactly who you said you would be. That's exactly who I would put you in.
Shinzi?
Yep, Shinzi. I would absolutely choose that role for you. Or Zazu.
Zazu. I would make a good Zazu.
Yeah, if I could like really make Zazu like gender non-conforming. Honestly, I think you could do British male. Anyway, I honestly changed my mind. I would cast you as Zazu. I would absolutely 100% across the fucking board cast you as Zazu. You'd be a real good Zazu.
He'd make a very handsome throw rug.
Get out of here! Stop it! I love you. See,
and then whenever he got dirty, you could take him out and beat him.
Stop it! Okay, yeah, exactly. I made the right casting choice. I made the right choice.
Oh. Okay, so if I was casting you then...
Yeah.
You just... Well, we all do. We all want to sing the Scar song. If I was casting you in the show and I had the opportunity to cast you as Banzai and me as Shenzi, I would go with that.
You would?
I would, yes. And
what if you were directing and you couldn't act in it?
Okay, if I couldn't act in it, I would probably cast you as... Gosh, I was actually thinking of Zazu for you too, but the thought of Timon is really tempting because you have that great Nathan Lane snapback, which I really enjoy.
You know I do it right. I would do that role justice.
I think it'd be great.
He was a young warthog. He was a young warthog. Anyway.
Yeah, I could see it.
I'd just pay homage. I really would.
Yeah, I agree. Well, how do you feel about the quote? Everything exists together in a delicate balance. You think that's right?
Not for this time, no. No, I'm just kidding. Everything exists in a delicate balance. No, I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to have an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think that the balance is delicate. Maybe in the animal kingdom. Even though that's natural. This is a little bit different. This is 2020. This is Trump's America. So it's not delicate. And I don't think that we should be taking it a little as delicate as the 90s were. I do believe that this is very serious. 210 cases at that Tyson chicken plant. 84 new cases in Walla Walla County. The shit's not delicate, and it's not really existing harmoniously because you've got people who want to leave home. You've got people who think haircuts are more important than people's lives, and that's not delicate.
That's a rough brain space to be in, I would imagine, is imagining your massage or oil change or something is more important than somebody's, potential life.
I just feel like, even though those things are happening, though, like, yes, more people are staying home than none. That's proven in the numbers, as far as certain areas and the economy goes. Everyone's staying home. So, I don't know, sis. I just don't think it's that delicate right now. I think that there's the possibility for delicate, harmonious perspective. But there's a lot of assholes out there right now. A lot of people caring about what are in people's bank accounts, and a lot of people caring about a lot of irrelevant things, and that's actually not as delicate as I wish it could be. So what do you take from the quote?
Well, I feel that life is a balance, and the way to get back, the ideal is to be balanced, and every step we take is just trying to tip the scale back to the center line. And right now we're leaning pretty hard on one side or the other. So, we need to take those little steps to get us back to the center line. And that's just going to be true in every aspect of our lives and our society. When the wave pushes too hard against one wall, it's going to come on the other wall like a tsunami. And it's hard. It's hard to find that balance as a group. But if we start looking to find that balance within ourselves as individuals, I think we'll make some pretty decent steps as a whole. Of course, that's me being optimistic and idealistic, but
no, it's nice to hear. I need to hear that because, I am an optimist, and typically you actually look on the darker side of things. Not that it's a bad thing. I actually like that. No, I'm
a realist.
You're a realist. Yeah. Oh my God, I said it before you did. You are a realist. I'm in a Disney movie. But it's nice to hear you say that because I'm pretty upset. It's not even I know that's a whole other emotion in itself, the coronavirus. But it's more so in the way that people are reacting. And did I expect anything less? No. But it's just you kind of hoped for it. And then it's at least you knew, but then it really disappointed you in the end more than you thought it would.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm taking social distancing too seriously. I've been told by a couple of people I've been taking social distancing too seriously. Made me upset. But
it's better to err on the side of safety, I feel.
And the thing is I always err on the side of what's the word I'm looking for? Exploration. Risk. Not overly high risk, but I definitely push myself on the side of exploration when it comes to if I'm scared of something, I'm going to push myself to not be scared of it, always. I've done that since I was a kid. Right. I really have. Right. You've seen me do it. You've seen me do it.
You've seen me do it.
I have. I'm a fucking drag queen for Christ's sakes. In the middle of small town Republican America. So you've always pushed me to do that. So on the minimalist side of things, even though that's kind of large, but the things that you push me to do in that aspect, that's pretty small. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's nice to hear you be on the side of things that I'm normally on.
That means it's realistic, yes?
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we miss you. We hope you're holding up. And, and we're here for you.
Talk to you for a lot longer this week. But
yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's more. I have a whole list. There's lots of things we can cover with this subject.
Next week, we're still talking about theater. Next week. That is what we are continuing on. So I hope you enjoy.
Oh, we miss you guys.
We missed you. This is hard.
Yeah. But until next week, we're Deannie and Jimmy.
Yes. And please tune in to Don't Cry for Me, Argentina.
That's the actual lyric.
I know. I did it on purpose.
Oh, you did? The truth is I never left you all through my wild days, my mad existence. I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. We are on so many different keys. It's going to sound terrible. Forgive us, you guys. We'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Jimmy.
Goodbye, Jimmy.
Goodbye, you guys.
Say goodbye, Deannie.
Goodbye, Deannie.
Goodbye, you guys. Mwah.